Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start class 7th SST, part History, chapter number 5, Architecture, Painting, Music, part 1. So, student, in this chapter, we'll read about different architecture during the medieval period and what they have constructed during that time, the monuments, and what kind of painting they had developed during that time, and music as well. So in this video I will discuss the architectural style during the medieval period, especially we'll talk about the temple architecture. So, as you all know, that the time between 800 CE to 1700 CE, new trends emerged in an art and architecture. As a result, this period witnessed a tremendous building activity and produced a large number of splendid structure in different architectural style. So this was the era where the large number of architectural development has took place, and this architectural development not only the it is not only the it's a place of worship, it also serve as a power and the wealth of that particular empire, and on which the empire or the king has made that temple or that architecture. Now, let us begin with the temple architecture during that time. Though temple architecture is the site, or the temples were the site for the structures of spiritual significance where images of deities were kept and worshipped. So, this is the place where images were kept and deities are there to be worshipped. So, deities are the god or the goddesses. So, god or goddess, whosoever is there in that temple, the god is worshipped, that is the deity, and that god or goddess picture or the sculpture of the sculpture of that particular uh, god or goddess is there in the temple, and we worship. So this is the place for the worshipping of the Hindu religion people. Temple did not only serve the places of worship, it was also the center of performing arts, basically dance and music. So from the temple only, people or the medieval period people can get to learn the dance form, different dance form, and as well as music. It also encourages recording. So the temples have the different recordings, or the it served as a record room, means the details during that times were recorded in the temples and kept in it. Learning and narrating history. So this is also very important, that we get to know several information from these temple architecture, uh, because those were mentioned in the different temples. It also helps for passing knowledge from one generation to another. So these temples were is helping us to passing the knowledge from one generation to another. So these are the different features of the temples that help us to know about our history during the medieval period as well as before that also. So let us know the different classification of the Indian temples. So now we can also see there that the temples were also served as a storage unit of grains and treasury of the kings. So whatever the treasury it is being uh, uh, get by the kings, or he got the tribute from the different person, those treasuries were also, that monies were also kept in the temples. Sometimes it's a storage unit of grains. So whatever they produce, wheat, rice, whatever they produce, sometimes those grains were also kept in the uh, temples. It demonstrates the power, wealth, and devotion of patron king, concern for the religious welfare of the subjects. So it's demonstrate the power. Definitely, the temple is huge, so it definitely shows the power and wealth. How much money it is being spent in it was spent in constructing that building. Also, the king who is devoted to particular god, that temples were made during his their rules. let us see the classification of Indian temples. So Indian temples are classified into two types. It is the Nagara style or the Nagar style and the Dravida style or Dravidist style. So there is one more fusion of Dravid and Nagar style, that is the Visara style. So Visara style is a hybrid, it's a fusion of Nagara and the Dravida. So mostly these kind of the Visara style mostly found in the Deccan areas of the India. So let us see this separately about the Nagara and Dravida style and Visara style. So Nagara or the North Indian temple architecture. So Nagara style of architecture was found in North India. So Nagar or Nagara, we can pronounce both. So Nagar is the style of temple architecture which become popular in the northern India. It is a common here to build an entire temple on stone platform with step leading up to it. So you have seen a various picture of the temples. There you can see the temples were built on the raised platform, and there are several steps to reach on that particular platform. So it is a common feature of the North Indian temple. Unlike the South India, it doesn't usually elaborate the boundaries, wall and the gateways. So we'll see about the South India also temple, that there is a boundary walls or the gateways. This kind of feature did not find in the Nagara style. Earliest temple had only one shikhar, that is a tower, but later period multiple shikhar came. So you will see the dome basically that was created on the temple in the temple architecture, that is known as shikhar. So shikhar was earlier it was only single shikhar, but later on it has converted into multiple shikhar. The Garbhagriha is always located directly under the tallest tower. So tallest tower wherever in the temple, beneath that tallest tower the Garbhagriha is there. So what is Garbhagriha? Let us see. Now let me explain you a little bit with the help of picture. There you can see the platform is there. First you can see Adhisthan from the base, that is a base platform on which the temple had constructed. There you can see the upper platform, that is the Jagati. Jagati is the platform on which the temple has created, and the base was known as Adhisthan. Now you can see, if from the east you can see there are staircases or the steps are there, that is the steps that is used to reach to the temple. Now there you can see Ardha Mandapa, that is the entrance mandap or the hall from where the people, the worshipper are entering in the temple. Now the next you can see the mandapa, that is the hall, another hall from where there you can pass. Then again it is Mahamandapa, that is the great hall. Then it is the Antralaya. There you can see Antralaya is between the great mandapa and the subsidiary shikhara. That is the main shikhar. The Antralaya is in between the main shikhar and the Mahamandap. So Antralaya is a place from where people can stand and worship, and the Mahamandapa is a hall where the people can sit. So Antralaya is a place from where people can see, actually people can see the god. Now you can also see the Pradakshina path. Pradakshina is a path that is the people have to worship by revolving or moving around the whole temple. So that is the Pradakshina path that you can see, that is also important feature of the Nagara style. Now you can see the Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha is what? It is the place where the main deity is kept. So main deity is kept in the Garbhagriha. Now moving towards the upward side, you can see Shikhar, that is the main tower, and subsidiary Shikhar, Urshring, that is the subsidiary Shikhar, means that those Shikhars were, you can see, smaller than the main Shikhar. Now Amalaka is there. Amalaka, you can see a circular disc type structure is there, and on that top you can see the Kalasa. Kalasa is a Kalash, it's a pot that was made on the North Indian style of temple. So there you can see the whole Nagara style temple architecture, they can see or understand very easily what are they. Now you can see Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha is a warm house, that is a cave like sanctum. It's a place like where the warm house, it's seems as a warm house where the main deity is kept. Okay. Earlier it was the small cubicle structure with single entrance. Uh, when it was starting of the construction of temple, it was only single entrance where the main deity is kept. But after some time, people or the rulers were added a lot of entrance as well as lot of mandapa is there in the temples. After some time, the complex become larger and larger, and Garbhagriha is made to the house of main icon or the main deity, which it is itself the focus of much ritual attention. So so the the deity or the main idol was kept, the murti of that particular god is kept in the Garbhagriha. Mandapa is the main entrance to the temple, and it may be the portico or the colonned hall that incorporates the space for the large number of worshipper. So there you can see the mandapa, that is a kind of hall, and it serves as a place to sit for the worshipper. Those who came for the worshipping, they can sit over there. Dances such other entertainment were practiced here. So dance, music, whatever the competition is, it is being conducted during that time. Those were under the mandapa only. Some temples have multiple mandapa. There's like Ardha Mandapa, Mandapa, Mahamandapa, as you have seen in the picture. So Sikhar or the Viman. So Sikhar is the tallest one. The tallest tower of the temple is known as Sikhar. They are the mountain-like sphere, like freestanding temple. So they are the main mandapa or the main structure. Beneath that only the Garbhagriha is located. Sikhar is found in the North Indian temples, and Viman is found in the South Indian temple. We'll see in the South Indian temples. So Sikhar has carving shape, while Viman has a pyramidal shape. So Shikharas are the carving shape, means curving shape. You can see it's a kind of circular shape or the cylindrical shape, and you can see Vimana, it's like a pyramidal shape. You can see in the next picture. Amalaka is, as I told you, the circular disc type object on the top of the temple. Kalesha, it is the topmost point of the temple. It is seen in the North Indian temples, that is the pot. Antral, Antarala, that is the main hall from where the Garbhagriha and the main hall is get connected, as I shown in the picture. Jagati is a raised platform from where the temple is constructed, and Vahan, that is the mount on vehicle or temple main deity, along with the standard pillar or dhwaj, which is placed exactly before the sanctum. So you can observe that the base platform is known as Vahana, where the main temple was constructed, that is the Vahana. Now let us see some of the examples of the Nagar style constructed during the medieval period. So Dasavatar Vishnu temple, that is in Devgarh, UP. It was unknown that who built this temple, but it was said that that temple was built nearly about 6th century CE, and is a classical example of late Gupta period. So late Guptas were there who built this temple, and the temple is in the Panchayatna style of architecture, in which the main shrine is capped in between, and the four smaller subsidiary shrines, the gods basically, were at the corner. So all total it's become the 5 shrine or the Panch. There were 3 main relief of the Vishnu on the temple walls. So there are 3 main picture of the Vishnu on the temple walls, and in fact it is not actually known whom 4 subsidiary shrines were originally dedicated. So in that temple only the 4 rest shrines were constructed. It is not sure that those sirens were dedicated to whom, but those were the Vishnu avatar, and that is why they were known as, they were mistaken as the Dashavatar temple. So those other four shrine behind the middle one, those were look like the avatars, different carnation of the Lord Vishnu. That is why they have considered those deities as a carnation of Vishnu. The grand doorway of the west facing temple, the west facing is less common. So basically this temple is only found is west facing, because most temples are found in east facing. The main face, the main entrance of the temple is from the east, that faces the east side, and that doorway has a picture of river Ganga and river Yamuna. So river Ganga is on the left hand and the river Yamuna is on the right side. There you can see the picture of the Dashavatar temple. In that only the deities were kept. Temples of at Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh. The temples at Khajuraho were made in 10th century, about 400 years after the Devgarh temple. So basically Devgarh temple was constructed in 6th century, and after 400 years in 10th century the Khajuraho temples was constructed. So this was patronized by the Chandelas rulers, and the temples of Khajurahos were all made of stone, sandstone basically. So sandstone was used for making the Khajuraho temple, and it is the largest Khajuraho temple is the Kandariya Mahadev temple, that is built by the ruler Gand. All towers or sikhar of the temple rise high. So what the sikharas you have seen, those sikharas or towers were very high, upward in curved the pyramidal fusion. So it seems like pyramidal shape, as well as the emphasizing the temple's vertical thrust ending into horizontal fluted disc called Amalika, topped on the Kalasa or the vase. So that is the Kalash and Amalika is also seen in this temple, and pyramidal fusion is pyramidal fashion is also mentioned, is there in the Khajuraho temple. So this is a little bit a Dravida style of architecture. It has been mixed, but it is wholly fully we can see it is a Naga style temple. The crowning element Kalasa and Amalika are to be found on the all Nagar's temple of this period. So there you can see the picture of Khajuraho temples, the pyramidal shape little bit, and on above there you can see Amalika and then Kalash. Now Sun Temple Konark, that is the Odisha. It is built around 1240 on the shores of the Bay of Bengal. So that is near the coast of the Bay of Bengal. The temple is set on the high base. The temple is on the high base, and it is covered with the extensive and detailed ornamental carving. So this temple is having the walls, and those walls were detailed ornamental carving, means fully designed walls are there at the Sun Temple. These include the 12 pairs of enormous wheels sculpted with the spokes and the hubs, representing the chariot wheel of the sun god, who in mythology rides a chariot driven by the 8 horses, sculpted here at the entrance of the staircase. So when you enter in the temple of Sun Temple, there are 12 pairs of enormous wheel. Big wheels are there at the Konark Temple. Also they have the different spokes with it. So it seems like it is a wheel of a chariot which is run by the god sun, and also it is driven by the 8 horses. So there is total 12 pairs of wheels that is driven by the 8 horses. So this shows that it is the mythological god sun who had this temple. That is why it was known as Sun Temple. The whole temple does came to resemble the colossal processional chariot. So it seems like a chariot that is driven by the sun god. And on the southern wall, the massive sculpture of Surya carved on the green stone. So green stone was used in this temple for carving the sun. And it is said that there were three such images carved on the different stone placed on the three temple walls, each facing different direction. So there are three more images. Those images were also constructed by the different stones on the three different walls, and they are also facing different direction. Means they are do not facing with each other. They are facing from the different direction. The fourth wall had the doorway into the temple from where the actual rays of sun would enter the Garbhagriha. So there is a fourth wall also from where the sun rays enters directly in the Garbhagriha. Now you can see the picture, that is a picture, and there are different walls also. And though the fourth wall, there you can see the main entrance, the sun rays enter over there directly to the Garbhagriha. This is, there you can see the wheels. You can also observe the different wheels you can see. And this is what it shows it is a chariot of God Sun. Now moving to the Dravida style or the South Indian style temple architecture. So unlike the Nagar style of temple, it is enclosed with the compound wall. So the whole temple was enclosed with the wall, and it has compound. It is a place in the temple as well. The Garbhagriha or the inner room where the idol of the main deity was placed. So as you have seen in the Nagara style also, Garbhagriha is there where the deity was kept. In front of the entrance of the gate, its center was known as Gopura or Gopuram. Okay, so when we enter in the hall, the Gopuram is there where the main entrance, it is a gate type structure where from where only you have to enter in the temple. Now the shape of main temple tower or the multi-storied pyramidal shape is known as Viman or the Sikhara in the Nagar style. So in the Nagar style we have read about Sikhara, where the main deities were kept under the Garbhagriha. So sorry. So here also on the Garbhagriha directly Viman is there. The main tower, beneath that the Garbhagriha is situated. Then Mandapa is also there. Mandapa is also there. That is the hall for in the temple. The South Indian, the word Sikhar is used only for the crowning element on the top of the temple, which is usually shaped like a small stupika or the octagonal cupola. That is the equivalent of the Amalika or the Kalasa of the North Indian temple. So where the Kalasa and Amalika is there, here is also the stupika structure is there in the Dravida style. You can see in the picture. Now there you can see the Gopuram. It is the main entrance hall. Then there is, you can see the Mandapa is there. So Mandapa is for the hall where the worshipper can sit. The Garbhagriha main deity was kept. Vimana or the Sikhara you can see sorry, that is the Gopura, and on the top you can see the Sikhara. This is the Dravidian style temple, and whole temple was enclosed by the walls. The North Indian temples, we can see images such as Mithunas, erotic, and the river goddess, that is the Ganga Yamuna guarding the temple. So here also, here you can see, and we have seen in the different temples that Ganga Yamuna is there for guarding the temple. But in the Dravida style of temple architecture, instead of these sculptures, we can see the sculptures of fairs, Dwarpal or the doorkeeper, the guarding the temples. So in the Nagar style temple, Ganga and Yamuna guarding the temple, here the Dwarpals were made, those who on the entrance of the gate, those who kept the guarding to the temples. A large water reservoir or the temple tank enclosed in the complex general in the South Indian temple. So in each temple of the Dravida style, they have definitely the water reservoir or the temple tank. Subsidiary shrines, the other god instead of the main deity, they were also incorporated within the main temple, located as distinct, separate from the small shrine beside the main temple. So the other shrines, the subsidiary shrines, were also kept in the main temple, beside the main temple, and they were away from the main shrine. So the subsidiary shrines were also kept, but before the main, not before the main shrine. The North Indian idea of multiple shikharas rising together as the cluster was not popular in the Dravida style. So there is no multiple shikhar in the Dravida style. At some of the most sacred temples in South India, the main temple in which Garbhagriha is situated, in fact, one of the smallest towers. So some of the South Indian temple have the Garbhagriha. On that the main Viman is there, that is the smallest towers. This is because usually the oldest part of the temple. So mainly the temple which was constructed before the medieval period, those temples were having the smallest towers. After some time, when the temples were renovated, and then after the main pyramidal shape of the Vimanas were meant after some time. So that is why the small towers were visible, the temples which were constructed before the medieval period. Shore temple at Mahabalipuram, Tamil Nadu. So this is a temple. It is found. It is there, situated in the Tamil Nadu. It is a temple that is built by the Narsim Varman, or also known as Raj Simha. The temple is facing east toward the sea and has 3 shrines: east and west to Shiva and middle for the Vishnu. So there you can see in the Shore temple it has 3 main shrines. In that, east and west, the direction east and direction west is consist of Lord Shiva, and in middle the Vishnu ideal is situated. The unusual because temple generally have the single main shrine and not 3 areas of worship. So only in this temple it is been visible. There is three different shrines were is present in the Shore temple, but this can be constructed later on after the main shrine was made. So that is why it is been the other 2 shrines you have that is of the Lord Shiva, they might be constructed after some time. In the compound there is an evidence of water tank, early example of Gopuram, and several other images. So there in the temple there is evidence of water tank, which is the feature of the Dravida style temple, and it has also example of Gopuram and other images which is relatable to the Dravida style. Sculpture of bull Nandi, the Shiva's mount, on which the Lord Shiva on which Lord Shiva is used to ride, you can say. So Nandi structure is also there, and the temple was suffered severe disfiguration due to the erosion by the salt water laden air over the centuries. So salt water, the saline water which is been eroded, which eroded the temple's base and mostly the walls which was constructed around the temple. There you can see the picture of the Mahabalipuram, the Shore temple basically. Now Brihadeshwar temple at Tanjore. So Brihadeshwar is the most or the best example of Chola temple, and it is also known as Rajrajeshwara temple. It was completed around 1009 CE, that is by the Raj Chol, and it was the largest and tallest of the all Indian temples. So whatever the temple is there in the India, it is the tallest one and the largest one among all temples. The temple had the pyramidal multi-storied Viman, rises a massive 70 meters. So the Viman is about 70 meters long and topped by the monolithic Shikhar. Monolithic is it was made by the one rock only, and the Kalasha on the top by itself about 3 meter and 8 centimeter in height. So basically after the 70 meters 3 more meters and 8 centimeters is added in the temple. The main deity of the temple is Lord Shiva, who is shown as a huge lingam set into 2-storied sanctum. So 2-storied sanctum, the Garbhagriha basically, a 2-story Garbhagriha is there, and in between the lingam is kept the Lord Shiva's idol. Painted murals and sculptures decorated the wall surrounding of the sanctums. So main Garbhagriha had the murals. Murals is what? Murals is the wall painting that is, and the sculptures, the different deities sculpture or the flower sculptures were there at the Brihadeshwar temple. There you can see the picture. Now, the Vesara style or the Deccan temple architecture, it means that it was basically constructed in the Deccan area. That is why it is also known as Deccan style of temple architecture. So the building in the Deccan region are hybrided style which contain both element, the Nagara and the Dravidas architecture style, and that is why it is known as Vesara style. Some ancient text we get to know about from the some ancient text, the Vesara style is the mixture of the Naga style and the Dravida style. So basically Vesara style was become popular around the 7th century, mid of the 7th century, where the both of the features were constructed. Now see the example temples of Pattadakal, that is in Karnataka. There are 10 temples at the Pattadakal, including the Jain temple and the UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it is also UNESCO World Heritage Site. There at the Jain temple, the Jain religion temple is also there. The fusion of various architectural style can be seen. So here are different architectural style you can see. Out of 10 temples, 4 were in Dravida style. So the temples were found in the Pattadakal. 4 were in the Dravida style, 4 were in the Nagara style, and 1 is Jain style. While the Papanath temple is built in the fusion of Nagara and Dravida style. So the 10th one is the fusion of Nagara and Dravida style. The Jain temple was built by Rashtrakuta in 9th century. The Virupaksha temple at the Pattadakal is also known as Sri Lokeshwar Mahasila Prasad, which was built by Loka Mahadevi, the queen of Chalukya, King Vikramaditya II. So she was the wife of Vikramaditya II, and she built the temple of Loka Mahadevi, Lokeshwar Mahasila Prasad, in 733 to 744. It was probably built around 740 CE to commemorate her husband's victory over the Pallavas of Kanchipuram. So she built this temple that the victory of Pallavas over Kanchipuram. Now, it is closely resembled to the Kailashnath temple at Kanchipuram on plan and elevation. So it's little bit a resemblance of Kailashnath temple at this Lokeshwar Mahasila Prasad. It is a resemble of the Kailashnath temple which is constructed in the Kanchipuram. It represents fully developed and perfect stage of Dravida style. So this temple is a good example of Dravida style during that period. You can see the picture of that. Now, the 3 main temple of Hoysal are the temple of Velur, Halebid, Somanathpuram. So these are the 3 main temple that was constructed by Hoysal dynasty. Most characteristic feature of these temple is that they grow extremely complex with many projecting angles emerging from the previously straightforward square temple. So the plan of these temples looks like a star. So basically the main feature of these temples which was constructed by the Hoysals is its base look like star, and it's a mixture of different angles which shows which seems like the temple is in the form of star. As a plan look like the star, it is also known as stellite plan. So basically it's look like the base is still looks like star, so that is why it's known as stellate plan, and they are usually made out of soapstone. So these temples which were constructed by Hoysals, they were made up of soapstone. There you can see the pictures of Halebid of Karnataka which was there. You can see this is the picture of Halebid or Halebidu. The temple is also known as Hoysaleshwar temples, built in dark stone by the Hoysal king Vishnuvardhan in 1150. So this temple was built by the Hoysal king, that is Vishnuvardhan, in 1150. It is dedicated to Shiva as Nataraj, the dancing form of Shiva, contain the large hall for the mandapa to facilitate the music and dance. So basically Natraj is a resemblance of the dance and music. So that is why the large hall, the large mandapa was constructed in this temple. The bottom frieze of the temple featuring a continuous procession of hundreds elephant with the Mahauts. No two elephants were same position. So hundreds were hundreds elephants were there in this in the temple constructed. There you can see the small elephants are there with their Mahavats. Uh, the the person who runs the elephants is known as Mahavat. So these were the features of the Visara style of temple architecture. In the we can see this is the basically three style of architecture, but in the in the peripheral areas of the basically main India, that is Bengal, Kashmir, Kerala, they have also developed their own distinct style because of the availability of the raw material resources and skill, local artisan and craftsmen. So they were the responsible for a different variation in the different style of architecture. So I had set one example of Bengal, that is the style of sculpture during the period between the 9th and 11th century, present day Bengal and Bihar, that is known as Pal style. So this Bengal temple architecture was known as Pal style because Pala rulers were there and they have constructed several temples. That style in mid and 11th century, that is the 11th to 13th century, named the Sena king. So this the Pal style is between 9th and 11th, and from 9th to 13th it was Sen style. While Pala celebrated as patron of Buddhist monastic sites, the temple of the region is known express Venga style. So what the Pala had used for the constructing the temples, basically it's of Buddhist monastic, as well as these kind of temples what they have created, that is the Venga style. Siddheshwar Mahadev temple at Burdwan, West Bengal, built in 9th century, shows a tall carving of Shikhara crowned by a large Amalika, is an example of early Pala style. So there is one temple that is constructed in the 9th century by the Palas, that is the example of the Naga style, where the Sikhar and the Amalika is there. Many temples from 9th to 12th century was located at the Telkupi in Puruta district, West Bengal. So there are so many temples there. You can see the picture of the Siddheshwar Mahadev temple, and that is in West Bengal. There you can see the Sikhara and the Amalika is there, and on the top of Amalika there is a Kalasha. So these are the topics that we have to discuss in this video. I hope you are able to understand, and your homework is to write the different architectural features of the Nagara style in your class copy. Thank you, students.